Good afternoon and welcome to Glens Falls Board of Public Safety meeting. It's 4 o'clock, Wednesday, August 13th. We'll call the meeting to order. First up on our agenda is a resolution to approve the July 9th, 25 minutes of the Glens Falls Board of Public Safety. Do we have any corrections or suggestions for to the minutes? Not hearing any. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 3 is public comment from any of the public who'd like to address the Board of Public Safety. We'd ask you to come up and stand so you can get on the camera and let us know your name and address. Oh, hi, how are you? Come on. Sorry to put you on camera, but that's the way it is. There you go. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Thank you all for allowing us to be on the agenda today.
Sure.
My name is Laura Cloak. I live in Sargent Springs, 76 Clinton Street. I have an office though, 571 Glens Street. And the reason that we're here is that our neighborhood notices quite a few safety issues with a crosswalk that exists from the end of Monument Avenue that extends over to Clinton Park. And we would like to request that something be done to make it safer.
We already have the flashing beacon. It's already ordered, right?
I sat down with the neighbors on the 28th, and we passed the proposal in May of 23. There was a funding issue. The hospital was going to supply the money. That disappeared.
John, who worked for the hospital and the grant.
Collins kept it on his plate, which the idea was a good idea anyway. Because there are, within 3 streets, there's 2 crosswalks. It's a heavy pedestrian area. So I met with them, got them up to speed on the history, the funding issue, and then he would take the ball up and wrangle it again.
Okay. We
had it set up for next installation next spring.
Right. Is that one? Do we know where that purchase is? Do we, by chance?
I personally don't. I just know that it's
I have a Chip's copy of it.
Okay, so we've ordered it, right?
Ordered it, and the installation date is going to be in spring of next year.
Great. Only 3 years. That's lightning fast in city government, and so they tell us. It's
Do we know
great.
that this is the same issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same issue, and I know we did get a little update recently, but I guess as a community, we put together a letter, and we have 99 people in the area sign it, so we just wanted to officially submit that so that it's fully aware that we requested.
Awesome.
I made a suggestion too, like I did, that possibly there's, because there's 2 crosswalks and 3 lights, and I don't think it's difficult yet, but I just printed these out. I don't know if the city has these in inventory or not, but it might be wise, because there's 2 crosswalks and 3 blocks, to have one maybe in front of Y for the southbound traffic, and then have 6 similar signs prior to Monument heading north. And that'll count until spring.
Oh.
You get the lights.
I got it, temporarily. Yeah. Well, and I don't even know if that's legal, right? John, it's not like, it's through the municipal, the New York State municipal, I'm sorry, I always
MUTC.
MUTC, how can I forget that?
It may be a county or state road too, so I'm not even sure.
Fair enough. So you're suggesting maybe until then to put up some pedestrian crossing
We could get
signs.
working on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what we would do is we can get this to Chief Smith and look into MUTCD, the municipal, and then let us know at the next meeting, Chief, if it's legal. And if it is, then we can go ahead and have DPW install it. If it's not legal, John, then we're just going to have to wait till spring.
Well, I appreciate your idea.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much.
Because
Appreciate it.
If I was a child or a bicyclist or a senior, I would rather walk the 2 blocks to Monument and cross there. You just have 2-way traffic there, rather than the intersection, because you have 2-way traffic, then you have people making left and right hand turns out of Webster.
Yeah.
So I just, I would.
Yeah, well,
And that's
when,
why I think you brought the idea up.
sure, well, and the original Board of Public Safety had looked at this and said, no. They didn't, they wanted, we had requested the students not cross there. And it was, a lot of students were crossing, that were trying to get to Kensington, and they were crossing there. And the Board of Public Safety originally said, no, that's why we have streetlights, and we want them to go up. But they weren't. And the reality was they were
Chief
crossing.
Smith said once there's a crosswalk there, it's hard to get people to not cross.
That's
that.
correct. So then we did look in the book and realized that we could put the flashing beacons in, and they could be controlled by a student or any pedestrian actually, who comes up and can press a button, and then that'll turn the flashers. And so once we realized that was legal, then John from the hospital said, oh, we have money to pay for that. And we said, oh, great, then we'll go ahead and get it done. And then John left, and the hospital money went away. And so now we have it, and we purchased it, and so we're good. And I'd love to have your thing, and we can give it to our clerk who can put it in the record. Was there anything in particular besides that flashing beacon that you're making a suggestion that the board should consider? You just wanted the beacon to actually get
We
done?
wanted to get done, and we're just, like, I'm the one who's lived there 40 years, so I've seen the huge change in traffic flow, traffic speed, the number of people. That is the park entrance. That's where people go to get to the playground, to get to the ball fields. They don't go to get to the pond. That's the one across from Lake.
Right.
But they do not go into the park from Webster. That's the bikers, that's the one going to pickleball and the what, and the Y. We are the park entrance. And so you can, there's hardly a time I go out of Monument that somebody is not going into the park.
Walking
Somebody
across
is
there.
not crossing. My husband, the 83-year-old dog walker, and we've walked the street for 40 years. My kids are saying, don't let him cross now, don't let him go. He's going to go walk our dog in the park. You know him, he's a little bit stubborn. But every time, nobody stops now. They come from Queensbury, and if they've got that light on Webster, zoom. Now, Zach Ogden has a child on the street, and a lot of people have told us the same thing, that Zach is not going to tell. Yeah.
Zach Ogden, 34 Monument Ave. And just to touch on what Dave said, you know, I've got a young daughter, 9-year-old, who's still at Kensington, and so I see the school side of it, but also, you know, in the fall and the spring there's sports going on in the park, and so it's, you know, I literally picked up someone who lived 2 doors down, crossing the street on a bike with his son, got hit, and I personally took his son away so we didn't have to watch the whole thing happen. So but you know, we appreciate what you've done to get the light there, and like we said, if we can get those signs as a temporary fix to get us through this upcoming school year and sports seasons, it'll be that much better and safer, so we appreciate it.
Oh, it'd be better if we could do it right away, but
Yeah.
the time to just get them in
I know.
is months. And
But just, again, in public record, that it is supposed to be there, that we don't have to have 20 more meetings next year about it.
Well, it's pretty
That
well
we-
said.
we should have a meeting and discuss it
Thanks
again.
to somebody, assuming Mayor Collins
Sure.
kept on it,
Yeah.
because
I know
we're
we
to
did.
think of that
Would
one
you-
item to the funding dried up,
Yeah,
but it didn't fall off his desk.
no,
He
no, well,
stayed
thank
on
you.
it.
Thank you for
I
that.
appreciate that. I
We
appreciate your
appreciate that,
patience
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Right.
We really.
You're, well, look, you know, it was only 5 years ago that they recognized that the light that was at Webster and was sending people incorrectly, right? But
Yeah.
all of our light systems are
Yeah.
on the old, like, it's almost like a transistor radio, you know, with the cards that go in. So, and then I thought, well, we'll just spend some of our CHIPS money to replace the lights. Well, a light, you know, how much do you think the crossing light could cost you? Well, it's $750,000, right? It's absolutely nuts.
I
So
know.
the fact that, you know, that started with that, and we'll almost have done this year, won't we have a grant and Glen also, right? And
That's obligated for next year,
next year.
so
Yeah.
next federal fiscal.
So sometime after October,
Yeah.
we'll be looking at
Wherever it is,
Yeah.
we'd
free
like
wall
to
traffic.
And then,
Yeah.
and the also in the corner of, now we've got, again, it's in that next fiscal year will be, Sherman and Glen, right? Because that's even bigger in the seniors.
Yeah,
They call
that's
that dash
That's
and,
huge.
look and dash intersection, right? And so, they just put the new, Stewart's in, but that whole intersection, and we got Stewart's to pitch in towards that, and then Aaron at AGFTC, helped us with the additional funding. The city's, I think, paying less than a third of that, but again, you would think, how much can a light, and we're talking about a street light, right? There's already a light there, we're just gonna replace it, no, it's insane, right? So,
Yeah.
glad that Webster got done. It's actually been
Those
purchased, so it's
signatures
coming
are
in.
Pretty much all Arbor Monument Lake.
Yeah.
Please thank
Pretty much all
everybody,
there.
we were gonna do it anyway, but it's always good to have that, because there will be people, as funny as it sounds, that will speak up and say they don't want it there, all right?
They don't know
I mean,
what they
that's
want.
like,
Or
what-
something
and
else.
I'm sorry that we didn't win the battle on Webster Avenue and the bike lanes.
Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
this board had actually approved bike lanes down Webster so that kids could travel, because hell, when I was a runner a long time ago,
Yeah.
but running from the YMCA to get to the other side of Glens Falls, Webster's the road.
Yeah.
And so we thought, absolutely, we want to put bike lanes down Webster,
The
every
bike trail
every
was
kid
right across Bay.
every kid coming, and then that didn't work out, and I'm sorry that the council caved under that pressure, and so now those are all sharrows, which are not nearly as safe. But I can't, we don't win them all.
Yeah.
We don't win them all. We got these, and so I'm sorry that I just feel bad, because that was one that particularly we couldn't believe.
Yeah.
So we're learning. So,
Well, thank
yes,
you to you, and thank you to John for meeting with us.
Of course, yes.
Thank you
Thank
all.
Know that we are, I'd do it tomorrow if I could.
I do.
I just so, because it's not like we're waiting for it. And there will be no other meeting. When it comes in, it will be installed, and then there'll be that push button, big flashers both sides of the street to slow people down.
Good.
One
Good.
other thing, that if you ever see people, like, there's a chance that Monument isn't a dead end, Lake is, right?
Correct.
Like
So,
this.
Monument goes in the
Monument
park.
might-
Monument goes to
So
park.
what we know, what we've recognized is that traffic safety as Glens Falls grows a little bit is probably the biggest safety issue that we have.
Yes.
I say that quietly with my chief here, because I don't want to minimize the importance of police officers or of other kinds of public safety. But we recognize that traffic is getting worse, and everybody in Glens Falls, because we're this small community, you all know where the cut-throughs are.
Right.
And as Webster now has a flashing beacon, and as we put a flashing beacon here, there's nothing that says to cut through that they're not gonna start coming down Monument
They
to
already
get
do.
over to Webster,
Yeah.
right? So when you see that, if you call the police chief, you can let us know. And we just purchased, we used ARPA money to purchase a small trailer so we have a trailer right now that shows you as you're driving by, it'll flash and tell you your speed. But now we have one that will issue a ticket. And it can read your license plate and a ticket. And we feel it was one of the most significant things that we could. We didn't do it for the money, but thank you for saying that, Shirley. What we know from other cities that have implemented this is it finally slows them down. And it won't go to the driver, it'll go to the registrant of the car. So if your son or daughter is driving and cuts through, it's gonna go to you, and then you're gonna realize that your son or daughter was zipping through the thing. And so we know that it's really effective. And that's the reason we invested a large bit of money. And what we have to do left is, when we get it in, we've got to change and write the laws so that we can implement it. But that's coming, and we believe that we'll need your calls to say they're coming now more on Monument, or what's the other street on the other end of Webster?
Arbor, Fort Amherst.
Fort Amherst,
Yeah.
right? We know that they're gonna switch, and then we'll switch this as a movable thing,
Yeah.
all right?
Thank
And
you.
so,
Thank you, and I want to
guys.
thank the police presence that's always, that's often at the park entrance. That is a huge help on really busy times in the park. And I've seen them talking to young kids and things, and that's a huge help.
It's great to have them from here, for here,
Yes,
right? I mean,
yes.
geez, John Norton and I went to high school together, and
Yeah.
now he's the high
It's
school
been great.
resource
Thank
officer,
you.
right? So,
Thank you for
it's
all your.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Keep it on the table.
We'll put it on the record of all the folks that signed it, so
Thanks, John.
please let them know it went
Thank
to
you so
good
much.
use.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Any other public comment? Anybody like to address the council? Not hearing any. Number 4 is AGFTC's Traffic Consultants, MJ Engineering, to present the results of that Grant Avenue analysis that we conducted for the Glens Falls School District.
All right, just as a matter of introduction, folks, you may recall the Transportation Council sponsored a traffic study on behalf of the school that was requested from the mayor in 2023 to take a look at safety issues in and around the middle school and high school campus. There was a series of recommendations that came out of that, including one for Grant Avenue, which was a little bit funky, if you will, at the time. It involved kind of a meandering traffic alternative with alternating parking on one side, and we collectively agreed among city staff and school staff that maybe that thing would be a hard thing to enforce and
What do they call it?
implement.
Chicane. Even
Chicane.
the name
So
of
if you
it.
imagine just trying to introduce kind of like a snake, a meandering traffic flow by having the travel lanes curve in the roadway instead of being continuously straight.
And he's referring to, sorry to interrupt you, the block between
Quaid
Quaid.
and Clayton.
and Clayton. So the most, the biggest traffic problems, and they are literally, those problems are only exist for about an hour to an hour and a half,
They're
45
pretty-
minutes before, or 45 minutes as school lets out, but it's a real problem. And the original study kind of suggested this, what's called the chicane, and we all kind of agreed we didn't think it was going to work, that anybody would pay attention to it, first of all, but go ahead.
So despite all that effort of the 2023 study, it more or less left the grant piece kind of unaddressed. And the traffic issues out there didn't go away. As the mayor said, there's some very acute congestion issues right around drop-off and pickup times. I always seem to manage to curry favor when I tell stories anecdotal to myself of what happens to me when I'm out there. I've conveyed stories about how my kids are my least favorite people on earth when I have to give them a ride to school, because they generally walk, but when I have to enter that fray, I'm not happy with them. I've actually traded mirror paint with other motorists out there, and I'm not out there very often. So there is a very real congestion problem, the fundamental issue being Grant on that section is not wide enough for 2 lanes of parked cars and 2 travel lanes. So that was the basic issue that we tasked our traffic consultants with. So AGFTC, at no expense to the city, has hired MJ Engineering to take a second look, more or less, at Grant. And I'll have Mark and Connor go through the results of their analysis. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Mark Piscatello, Connor Dietrich, both from MJ Engineering. I apologize for our appearance, but we got soaked in the rain right now. We're trying to get in.
Glad you made it.
It looks like some of you have our report in your hands. In the last portion of that report are the different concepts that we came up with. And I do have larger versions of the concepts, which there should be one for everybody there. Doesn't matter if I have more. But we looked at that section of Grant Street to try and address the issues that happen. And as the mayor stated, it's for very brief periods of time in the morning and afternoon pickup and drop-off times. We counted vehicles at the intersections in the area, and the modern day of counting vehicles does not put a person out there with a pencil and paper. We install a camera. The camera videotapes the intersection, and then actually artificial intelligence then analyzes the video and produces a traffic count. We had a little stumbling block where our camera was taken down accidentally, I suppose.
Welcome to Glens Falls. Neighbors took it upon
It was
themselves.
secure.
I think somebody put the camera there and called the police, and,
Yeah.
and the police not knowing that I had approved the study, because of my failure to communicate, we took it down because we didn't want people creeping on other people. So welcome to Glens Falls, right?
Luckily, the video were already collected by the time the camera was taken down, so we were able to get all the data out of that.
Thank you. Sorry.
But what we were tasked with was looking at some options to improve traffic flow during those pickup and drop-off times. And we looked at possibly making Grant Avenue one-way eastbound, one-way westbound. However, when you do that, the traffic that wants to go the direction that they're prohibited in somehow has to get to the other side. And what we found by analyzing the traffic is that traffic was going to go the next block north and travel through a residential area. And while the level of service wasn't necessarily downgraded, there was additional traffic of, let's say, like 80 cars in an hour that are going to go through this residential neighborhood that never had it. So my experience is working with the state, and I know from people complain when things are new things that don't work so well. So additional traffic going through a residential neighborhood is probably not going to be accepted. So as Aaron stated, the issue is that there's not enough real estate between the curbs on Grant Street to have 2 lanes of parking and 2 lanes of traffic without opposing traffic interfering with each other. Compound that with the pedestrian activity in the area, it makes it even worse. And our observations of watching that video, when the crossing guard was there seemed to be very excellent compliance with the vehicles stopping for the crosswalk. So I know there's a project to put one of these rapid flashing beacons. I think you were just talking about it at a different location. At that location, we recommended that. I understand that that's already in the works. That would be an excellent addition near Austin Street. But again, with the real estate, something's got to go. Either traffic in one direction's got to go somewhere else, or one of the parking lanes has to go. In order to maintain a safe travel environment for vehicles not hitting mirrors, as you mentioned. But, so we propose keeping the parking on the south side of Grant Avenue. That is alternate A in the first 2 sheets of that concept that I passed out, because that's the side closest to the school. That's where the shortest distance to walk to and from school at that location. But you're going to need to stripe a double yellow center line to show vehicles where they need to travel. And then designating the parking on the south side, and then physically restricting with no parking signs the parking on the north side. We recorded video basically 24 hours, and my observations of watching that video is that except for pickup and drop-off times and then some afternoon activities, I suppose sports, like our camera was focused on the street, I couldn't see but parking was not an issue on the street in the other times of the day. I feel that having the parking only on the south side would be sufficient and provide for a safer road for both pedestrians and vehicles. So, yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I think you covered it all.
Okay.
That was good.
You see in your packet, so the concept that they're suggesting is all A with Grant Avenue. You'll see the striped line sides. It's not normal for the city of Glens Falls to stripe a smaller street like this, but we would do it if you agree with this recommendation. Then we would do it, and we'd make the changes that they examine here. Other options for you to consider, alternative B, is making Grant one way. That was, and there was actually in one of our original, it was a different road we were looking at, Quaid one way. There were people quite upset by that idea, and we're not gonna implement Quade one way until we see all the other changes that we're making to see if they relieve, the way it's explained to me by the traffic experts, is it make some changes, see if it relieves the problems, and if it does, then you don't need to go with the more dramatic or drastic.
Take baby steps rather than jump to the final alternative.
If we were to do Grant Avenue, the problem with this is Grant Avenue being one way would certainly be upsetting to some people, but you also wouldn't want to do it for just, you'd have to do it permanently. Well, you wouldn't do it, say, just for this hour of problems, because nobody would know when it was one way or two way. So it's both the least invasive, and they believe it will solve the problem, is all A that's in front of you. Just so you know, he didn't mention that if you look at the entire work and the study, there are different, turning Grant to one way, facing one way is an option, turning Grant into a one way, coming the other way is an option, or just doing this, which is to eliminate parking. Now this will, as you know, every decision that you make or that we make is comes with criticism. The folks who live on that far side of Grant, just like the folks that were on Webster, that the reason that we didn't end up with bike lanes on Webster that we just mentioned with the last group that was here was because the folks on Webster didn't want to lose their parking. There will be concern from the residents, likely, from the residents on that far side of Grant. But we believe the reason that these guys are reporting this to you for your consideration is because we believe it's the best option with the least amount of disturbance and the least amount of drastic change. You know, it certainly would be drastic to make Grant one way, and there would be a lot more people upset. And we believe, or the recommendation is that this alternative will solve the problem, will significantly. And if it doesn't, then we'd have a school year, we could do this, we could do it, I believe that we can get it done before the school year begins. I would certainly work with, to try to make that happen, if we could do it, and then we'd know if it didn't, we could always go back. You can always, I mean, it's not easy, but we could always go back and go to the one-way option if it doesn't relieve the problem. Their opinion is that it would, from the statistics. Now, I'll be quiet and let you ask questions, thoughts.
The last page in that packet is the previously proposed chicane concept with traffic basically meandering back and forth there. It's the same idea of eliminating parking on one side, but it alternates to different sides.
Sure.
Because I've dealt with this nightmare before as well.
Repair it in the school district.
Yeah, well, she's 2 feet in a heartbeat now, so, for my daughter, so. For the no parking anytime, because a lot of this really is stopping and letting kids out, so wouldn't it be better to have no parking, no stopping, no standing?
Yes.
Just because that's really what they're doing is stop, because if you say no parking in their minds, I'm not parking, I'm letting my kid out.
Right. Technically, they're offloading passengers, and that's not parking.
Right,
I think you're right.
It'd be no parking, no standing, no stopping?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you
That
don't
was
want
my question.
vehicles.
Because in their minds, they're not parking.
Right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what also, the double yellow is a mental
the- yeah.
block there that I can't
Yeah.
stop here and block everybody behind me.
Yeah. I can still see unfortunately it
Yeah.
happening, so
Yeah.
maybe.
I agree with you. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Well,
okay.
we talked about in this that we will have to have the police present for that first couple months to actually enforce this, because I don't want to be completely rude, but to say that people won't pay attention to it and do whatever they're most comfortable with or what they did in the years past
Yeah.
until we stop that from happening. And then once we build the habit, that it will likely stick and be effective.
My experience has been when implementing changes, that the first few days or a week when it's implemented, there's a little chaos there. People have to understand what it is. But once you know what it is,
Mhm.
then you redo your traffic pattern to accommodate the new layout.
I think in selling this idea, which to me looks good, I think in this case, it might be important to let everybody know what the other options were. Because I think the other options that we're not in favor of might push people to this option, the baby step that we're starting with.
This is the least undesirable.
Yeah.
I've lived in that area for 54 years. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Any other?
I would agree based on the other choices.
Great. So I think what we're looking for here is don't give it to me yet, but we're thinking a motion to approve the recommendation and your recommendation that we follow this. Then we go, I believe this would have to go to public, because we're changing, right? We change code. What's next, chief? Or go ahead.
So it probably won't be done by the time school starts, based on notice and how long that takes, because there's certain things that Megan has to do when it's a local
Right,
law.
we are in the middle of August.
There has to be a public hearing, resolution to set a public hearing, and then a public hearing. So it could be close, but it probably won't
Be
be
at the very
school.
first
Right,
week.
right.
But, so that was what I was trying to
Yeah.
establish. So if you make this recommendation, it will go to the council. If the council, most always, they would set the notice for public hearing. Public hearing would be at the next council meeting. I think we could get it into the last council meeting. There'd be the notice for the public hearing.
Yeah, the notice would be the next, notice for the public hearing would be possibly the next, depending on how the notice of the paper rolls.
Right,
So that's,
so-
yeah.
So then,
Soon,
at some
but-
point in September, it would get early September be passed, best case scenario. And then I can work with, can you help us with that? You're usually just helping us do the study, it's us. up
We're
there.
not real good at implementation. We don't have a lot to offer there.
So then I'll work on making this a priority from our end. We'll restripe it, we'll change the signage, order that, and get it done once that's approved. So with that understanding, that would be the next process. Is there a motion to make this recommendation to go with the recommendation of the study and the school district in support of their traffic study and improving the traffic safety of the city school district? Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
So,
Go ahead.
just to be clear, 'cause I just wanna make sure, no parking, no standing, no stopping, because it is a different schedule, it is just a different portion of the code. So just to be specific, you'd be voting on either the no parking or the no parking, no standing, no stopping. I don't know what would,
Anybody okay with the?
no parking, no standing, no
No
stopping.
I don't-
That schedule of the code is
For our-
what you'd be recommending.
For our end, I will revise the report so this alternative
Maybe
shows
next
that
time.
in there.
Perfect, yeah,
And it may be beneficial to publish the final report
Yeah.
on a
yeah.
website so people during the public comment period have something to read.
Yeah, because we can always put the whole thing out,
Yeah.
and then that way they understand what's being
Okay.
actually proposed. So that schedule is what we'll propose on Grant Avenue because it's very specific, so from Clayton to
Quaid.
Quaid, correct? Okay, perfect,
And we can turn that around by the end of the week.
awesome.
She's sharp.
And my moments.
Yes, no, I mean that as a compliment.
No.
All sarcasm aside,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yes, Scar.
I have a question. If we are gonna put the no stopping and standing with that no parking, so the idea is to deter people from dropping off their kids there, wouldn't that put an increase on the other streets and possibly make the Quaid situation a lot worse? Because now you're saying you have to drop off on this one street. I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but I think it's gonna make a different streets problem a lot worse.
What it's gonna do is change the direction that they head to drop off their
Right.
kids. They're gonna come up the other block and then come back down and pull into these parking spaces. Go ahead, do you wanna speak to it? Because we had
Yeah.
that conversation.
Right, and if I may, I'm Sky Heritage, I'm with the school district, and I actually do staff that crosswalk a lot of times, both in conjunction with the crossing guards and then as a fill-in person who's there, so I've actually seen this. The issue that we have with the stopping and standing is at drop off, like you were just saying, and then we have kids crossing that in the middle of the road, and that's a problem. In the morning, what I have seen is there is less congestion because folks are able to usually use the correct side, drop kids off and go. The stopping and standing becomes a huge safety hazard at pickup. So in the afternoon, we have parents or grandparents who are parking on the school side at 2:15, an hour before or even, 30 minutes before dismissal. And then as folks are coming up from Quaid to Clayton, they will stop or stand and then wait right at dismissal. And that creates that bottleneck where we can't get any traffic through, and then people get angry and it gets very, very dangerous. So the stopping and standing, to your point, that would really assist us with the dismissal. It's the pickup. The drop off, not so much. There's usually enough flow. It's a little bit of a quicker flow because people are arriving at different times to drop off their children. Dismissal, everybody at once. That's the issue with dismissal.
Well, also when you're dropping off, the time between the car stops and the passenger departs is very quick.
Correct.
And the other way, car stops, waiting for the child to come, and there's a time period there. So it makes sense that during, pickup in the afternoon, seems a little bit more length of time that the issue exists.
Yeah.
It's probably also worth noting that some of the capital projects that the school has undertaken are anticipated to improve conditions on Quaid from current. The school buses are getting removed from the Quaid Street flow. There's more actual physical space on Quaid to accommodate some of these pickups and drop-offs. So the deflection from Grant is actually getting deflected to a roadway that should function a little bit better now than it currently is with these improvements. So I think that helps address the issue of if they can't do it here, are they going to do it somewhere else? Yeah, they are, but that somewhere else is going to be better than it was. Is that fair?
Absolutely, yeah. Both the middle school and high school parking lots are currently
Yeah,
full in construction.
It is great.
It is, it's gonna be wonderful. We've added the bus loop in the middle school lot, which is very useful. We've finally aligned, there was a sort of a divider in the high school parking lot on Sherman where La Rose comes in, and it was a little bit dog-legged, yes. So that's actually getting realigned as well. So we have been trying to do, like the mayor said, incremental steps, each year, and we've tried to improve each year, and we very much appreciate this study and all of the work that has been done on this. We're very supportive and thankful.
It's a great question. It is exactly what we're talking about, and we're hoping this change solves that afternoon problem where what's happening is people are parking on both sides of that street. So just removing that allows more traffic. They won't be able to park on that side of the street. If you see that yellow line in your diagram, it's now pushed. So you won't be able to park there without parking in the middle of the traffic lane. So it really helps to keep that, to keep it moving. If it makes Quaid, all the improvements they're making to Quaid right now, we're also putting in sidewalks, which is angering people. Just part of the deal, I guess. But if Quaid gets worse, then we have the recommendation that we're not implementing, which is the one-way in Quaid. So it won't be the worst thing that if that happens, and that it still will make this better, and this street is the most, I don't want to say that dangerous, but certainly the most easily identified problem in it. So it solves one problem. We're hoping it doesn't make the others better. We hope that the other, the work that we've done will keep all that better. But if not, we'll go back and we'll look at, then we got the next one, which is one-way Quaid, right? And anyway.
I have a quick, and forgive me, I'm throwing another fly in the ointment.
All right.
Really forgive me, Mayor. Big Cross Street School, you're looking at the same thing. So the school districts, there's an issue. The cross street, my grandchildren went there. Then went to the.
So let's give you, I know you give me credit and I'll give you credit. We have 3 more studies on each of those elementary schools. The only
Including
one
Jackson?
being done, Jackson.
That's a hot mess.
And the only one not being done for a full study is Kensington because it was done recently.
Mhm.
So we agree and he's already agreed to pay for it. We've already ordered them up, so we're working.
We took a look at those in 2009, not a lot of the recommendations were implemented at that time. Conditions have changed, districting has changed. So at the mayor's request, we're gonna be looking at definitely Big Cross and Jackson Heights, maybe in Wayne, as part of a reassessment of those original studies.
We've already done drone video at Jackson actually for, pick up and drop off as well, because we understand
I live
it's-
right next to it, and it is an absolute nightmare. I will do everything to avoid that street for an hour.
I'm hoping to schedule a time in September to do some public meetings with the school district so that we can, because most people have no idea of all the work that we've done, and because we've done a little bit of a year, there was some people coming in screaming at us a couple months ago saying we're not doing anything, and it's just not true. It just takes, you can't do it all at once, and it takes time. And so, but it's fantastic to see the work you're doing, and we're probably entering new sidewalk in Glens Falls where there is none for the first time in 20 years, because it's the right thing to do, not because it makes people happy. There's nobody who doesn't have a sidewalk who wants one. Because we make you maintain it, right? Because you're losing your grass, right? And you gotta shovel it, but we did have a meeting at the school district, and we invited all those properties down further on Grant, on the corner, is it Quaid?
Quaid, yeah.
Quaid, right across, I don't know if you remember where Jeff Leonard, the Leonards used to live, so there's no sidewalk there. We're putting in sidewalk there, and it's, it doesn't make you the favorite guy in the room, so that's all right. We need to, it's the school district, and we gotta get the kids safe, and so we'll make sure Chief, can you help me to identify the houses and the residents of this, because we're passing this notice today, or this recommendation will go to the council. Let me, help me draft a letter so we can let those residents know, and they can come in and talk to us. I think we need to do it, but I also want to recognize that some people are going to be upset. Yeah, it comes with it, right? This is what we need to do. It's the right thing to do. Okay.
Motion still stands.
We got a motion. We got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your work.
Great, guys, appreciate the work, enjoy Lawrenceburg.
We did get your cameras back, didn't we?
Yes. I carried it from
that's great.
the police station over to.
Sorry, guys, that is Glens Falls, isn't it? It's just like, hey, look, somebody took, and I didn't know our own police had responded to the complaint and took it down for us.
Took it down or had it taken.
That's great.
No, they took it.
I thought for sure a neighbor went ahead and went across the street and took it down, but that wasn't the case.
Thank you, everybody, for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Sky,
I like
appreciate it.
Mr. Levack's comment last time, we don't have a parking problem, we have a walking problem.
Yes, yes.
I don't think any of the kids walk anymore.
Well, we've got a walking district that, when we did the study a few years ago, found that I think 11 to 13% of the kids are the only kids that walk. So we call it a walking district, right? But I know with my wife and I, we struggled to make, I said that my kids should walk to Jackson Heights and to the middle school, and I think I lost somewhere, I stopped paying attention. I wanted to stay married more than I wanted to be right. But I think that, it's people aren't real comfortable with their kids walking. I mean, I think my father took great joy to tell me that it would only take, I could throw a stone from here to there. Like, it's 1.5 miles. It's a hell of an arm, right? But that was the response of the day, whenever you ask for a ride.
My children also.
Where are we? Sorry, I apologize, I lost, I'm trying to be funny, I lost my spot. Yes, walk to school, huh? Yeah, on a snow day?
My mom said you got school.
That's great. Oh, that's awesome. Those days are gone, aren't they? All right, we got, that's so funny. Okay, yes, and not for you, I'm sure, but that's great. Resolution to approve the Flandreau ad, this is 5. Resolution to approve the Flandreau ad block party to be held on August 30th, noon to 8 p.m. Road closure on Flandreau from Sanford to Mason Street. Music, food, neighbors, up to 50 people expected. The event holder understands where to set the barricades, is instructed to man them while keeping one lane open for EMS if needed. Work order is sent to DPW and fire and PD, so they're all aware. Any questions, comments,
No?
motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Resolution to approve the Stevens Street block party, August 2nd, noon to 10 p.m. with road closure from Stevens Street between Sherman Ave and Montcalm. Music and food, up to 30 people expected. The event holder understands where the barricades and instructed them to keep while going, and work order sent to DPW, fire, and PD. Just so you know, the work order sent so that fire and PD knows that there's an event, and DPW is simply dropping off those barricades at the corner on the public right of way for the holder of the party to put them out and then put them away. Just so you know, we're not spending money on like overtime or anything on it. Do we have a resolution to approve?
I think that was
Do we have a second?
resolution.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution to approve the Horicon Avenue block party, September 14th, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Road closure on Horicon Avenue between Kensington and Crandall. Music, potluck food, between 40 to 50 people expected to attend. Event holder understands where to set the barricades, instructed to keep them. Work order sent. Questions?
Is that a celebration that school's back?
I don't know. Yeah, 14th, they're a little late, right?
I'll
Very
make
good.
that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
8 is a resolution to approve the 2025 Vet Fest to be held September 7th, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the city park, and be 10-year anniversary for this event, be held in the same manner as previous years, with cars lined up on Angular from Maple Street with vendors, music, and bandstand activities. Event holders asking this year for closure of Maple Street between Bay and Ridge, Lapham Place, from Glen back to the City Hall parking lot entrance. Work orders sent to the appropriate departments. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
All
I'll
right.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution to approve the 2025 Adirondack Hot Air Balloon Festival to be held September 18th at Crandall Park. The event's actually the 18th, 19th, and 20th, but it's the 18th that's at Crandall Park, which is in front of you today. We include not just the opening ceremonies and moon glow, which is the Adirondack Hot Air Balloon Festival, but we're also holding what we used to close down downtown and do a block party, and we just have the entertainment right there, so nobody has to go from one to the other. And so it's all at Crandall Park, closed by 10 p.m. Main field. 2 components of the event: the main balloon festival, and the second is the city balloon festival after party. We've required New York State Department of Mass Gathering permits been completed. The event holders certificate of insurance is forthcoming. Permission is not required for the hold harmless agreement. It's been approved by the mayor. Do we have a
I have
yes?
a question.
Yes.
Is this a no alcohol event at the park?
Yes. The mayor has requested alcohol, but the balloon festival folks don't want it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could I just understand what happened here with this
Hold
harmless agreement?
They don't sign anything that with that language in it. Their attorneys suggested they not. I want the event to happen. It's our park, we have insurance, so we've got everything else. We want to have the event.
Are we starting precedent by doing
Maybe. It's more important, having the balloon festival located in Glens Falls and having this event is more important than their additional rider goes above our, it's a park event that we're having under our direction. We've got police, our fire, our EMS there.
that? Okay.
Will live. It is some liability, there's no doubt about it. If there's a major accident, we won't be applying to their insurance for that portion of this. It'll be on ours, like if we were holding it. Okay? And what we are, I mean, that's the funny thing. We're providing more staff and more supervision and direction on this event than we are any of the other events. So I thought there may be more of a risk, but it's certainly less than if, it'd be different if somebody else was holding an event at our park.
Right.
But we have our EMS, our fire, and our police, and our DPW there. Right?
And the hot air people,
Yes.
they're not making money off of this, it's something else.
Yeah.
It's a public event.
Absolutely.
So we're willing to incur the risk of having 3,000-4,000 people in the park.
Yeah. We're actually filling out the mass gathering permit because we need to. And if I push them to hold to this, then they're gonna go to the airport, and an event that we want here in our community won't happen. And I just, some things are not worth fighting.
It's a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Just also so you know, we've got, I don't know if you've heard about the TV show, Dennis Quaid does a Focus Point, Paul left, does a PBS show that highlights communities, organizations, businesses. They've done, from Notre Dame University to other communities across the country. They're coming and shooting that weekend, highlighting Glens Falls, our downtown, our businesses, and we thought that it was good to have them shoot some of this footage from a hot air balloon. So that was another reason why, especially this year, I wasn't. We're trying to also, we're going to help pay for some of the entertainment. We want to help Mark. The Adirondack Balloon Festival is getting less support from the county. We have octaks that we can use to help pay for the entertainment. We're also paying for dinner for the balloon pilots. So like a chicken barbecue. We're inviting all the pilots to come and have dinner up at Crandon Park. So please come. All right. Did we have a resolution we passed? No. Do we have a motion to
Make that
approve?
motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Resolution to approve the 2025 Collaborative Oktoberfest to be held on September 27th between noon and 3 p.m. on Glen Street. This will require the street closure of Glen from the Circle to the Monument, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. A waiver of city's open container ordinance was previously approved by resolution number 33-2025 for this event. Work orders been sent to DPW, Fire, and Police. Motion to approve?
I have a concern because the collaborative gave us an outdated defective certificate of insurance, naming Warren County as an additional insured, not the city of Glens Falls.
Sure, did you
That's
tell
an
Chip?
old- That's
Chip?
an old one. No, I didn't. What I did is, I figured Chip is recuperating, so I left
Sure.
it alone. I called the insurance agent and got this, which was a subsequent one that they created in response to this same complaint I had
Yeah,
back in February.
okay.
So what happened was the collaborative people gave us the wrong certificate of insurance.
Fair enough.
And so we don't have to go through this again. I would urge that they pay attention. If you're not involved in defending commercial lawsuits or having commercial contracts attacked, a certificate of insurance sounds like something that's just a pain, it's an annoyance. Look, let me show you something I just oddly enough bumped into by accident today on a file I handled a while ago. involving a contractor. This is, it's like, this is the level of significance of a certificate of insurance.
Mm. Sure.
These are a big deal.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is, if someone else is going to be using our city to make money, they should at the very least make us an additional insured.
Yeah. Sure.
I
Yep.
appreciate
List
your
this as additional
attention.
insurance. Did your, so we're all set for this one?
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay. And I agree. And what you're seeing here, what you're using is an example that somebody actually falsified it, and I am
Right.
familiar with it. Yeah, you're right. It's a huge deal, right? Because somebody's gonna be liable. And if I, right, if there's, I mean, there's been accidents, that one of the reasons we're redoing the entire process, which angered a lot of people about certificates and about running our facilities, even our park, is that, I mean, geez, what was it in Saratoga, that the wind came up and took 3 kids in bouncy houses, and about 2-3 blocks, 1 kid died, right? I mean, right, it does. I've been at festivals where a good wind will come and tents will just go, right? And, I mean, they make great sales, and they don't mean to, but they do. And certificates of insurance are important.
If something serious happens, the plaintiff's attorney will sue everybody, including us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good catch.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh,
So with the one, yes, thank you, Oktoberfest with the new certificate of insurance provided by the insurance agent and their, so it's the collaboratives thing. Do we have a motion to approve Oktoberfest with the updated certificate of insurance?
I'll move that.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution to approve Abraham Wing School's Trunk or Treat event, October 24th from 5:30 to 6:30, with a road closure requested on Orchard Street from Lawrence to the playground fence. City of Glens Falls School District maintain a blanket insurance policy for all city schools in the attached. Any questions?
No.
Motion?
Motion.
All, any opposed?
I don't think there's a second.
Sorry, second.
Okay, second.
I'm jumping the gun.
That's all right.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Old business, regarding the bicycles and EVs on city sidewalks, reached out to City Attorney Karen Judd for proper language, and really, Chief, aren't you gonna work on getting an update to the Board of Public Safety on the current laws? Or could I ask you to if I? You already did? So we need to get that back in front of you, because I believe we found that those laws are standing there, but that most people don't know about them, and that we probably don't need to change the laws at all. We need to educate people on the laws and know what we're doing. Like, we're not gonna chase a kid down and create a more dangerous situation, taking somebody through the streets. But we are going to address it as we see it, and we need people to call and let us know so that we can enforce it. But most people don't even know the laws. I think most of the things we're debating are actually in the laws already. So we'll get those to you, let you look at them and see if you want to make any changes. Where our current understanding, which is very precursory for me, is that we have all the laws we need to for that. We just forgot that we do, or we just, it's not common knowledge. Okay? Great. And so I bet that Karen's saying to me, why is Mayor bothering you with that? But that's okay. The next is restoration of the parking spaces on the west side of Elm Street between Hudson and Park is prescribed by local law. After reaching out to both Chief Smith and Officer Motor, Assistant Deputy Chief Motor, DC. They had me confused there. I was like, that's not his initials. We both replied that they have no safety issues in returning the public safety parking spaces on Elm Street between Hudson Avenue and Park Street on the west side of the street only. If the board renders a resolution to keep the positive recommendation for this to happen, the next step would be to have City Attorney Judd draft an updated local law, and then we'd have to do the public hearing and to the council before passing it. So to recap that, at the request of the neighbors, we eliminated parking on both the east and the west side from Hudson to Park on Elm. Now the request is to reinstate, there's probably 4 to 6 parking spots on the west side of Elm. And that to reinstate them would be beneficial to the neighbors. And our assessment of our public safety departments are that they don't have an issue with that. That's not going to make that part of the street more dangerous. Do we currently have I'll come back to it. So if that's their finding, that this would not create now the addition of those spaces on the west side, do not create a public safety issue that they are seeing, you now have a decision to change or stay the same. The recommendation is making that change is not necessarily going to create a public safety. It's wide enough a street to handle it, should be. It had parking on both sides until, the beginning of my term, right? Probably up till 2 years ago. So probably 4 or 60 years it had parking on both sides. You'll remember that the issues have been around the buses that were always illegally parking behind the old Park Street Tavern, right? And that parking area, that building sold. There was Jersey barriers put up so that they couldn't illegally park in property that wasn't theirs. That pushed them out into Elm, onto Elm, onto Park, onto Hudson at times. It was quite the nightmare. Yeah. Since then, there's been a falling out between the 2 bus companies, right? Trailways and Adirondack Trailways and Greyhound. One of them parks over on East Washington, at least until we can decide, until we can get grant money to pay for a transportation hub. So we don't have one, but half that problem is there, and we're not getting any complaints there. It's kind of, it's out of place. You notice it when folks are standing there with their bags waiting for a bus, or their families are meeting them. But other than that, you haven't had no issues of parking or safety issues. So I think that's a good solution that came out of that. Thoughts, recommendation, motion?
I do take note of our city clerk, Megan Nolan's comment. It may offer up to the buses to, oh, we got parking spots again. Is there a way we could word our
Resolution.
yes, our resolution that parking for no bus parking, or somehow verbiage, the proper verbiage to put in there that it is for smaller vehicles only. I've seen lots of places where that's been, or no
commercial vehicles?
maybe.
It'd be a chief question.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
don't know
Chief,
how
do
that
you know if you can have a parking spaces that are limit the parking, like no bus parking?
No bus parking, no commercial vehicle parking.
Well, and if it's lined, they can't park over the line, right?
Correct.
Well, they will, but
They will.
they
Well,
can't.
but there's a
They need
ticket
to
for
call.
if you park over the
That's
line,
right.
there's a ticket.
Okay.
I mean, there's enforcement.
Good.
It's
Good.
Those spaces should be lined.
Okay.
Because they're working on getting Park Street done as well, right?
Yep.
Are the lines currently there? No,
No.
so I would make a recommendation that those get spaced out for passenger vehicles. And then if a bus does park there, we give them a ticket.
Great. So, am I hearing a resolution that
Yes.
to reinstate parking on the west side of Elm Street, sorry, and then we get through this, well, the west side of Elm Street from Hudson to Park.
Correct.
No bus parking, but
Or commercial.
no, what do you term, what are those, how do you,
I'd have to take a look at the sign.
Well, if we just have it lined, I think that's what he's
I
saying.
think if you line them,
We don't need to necessarily
That's
put the, yeah.
Okay.
and we're
Just
gonna
want it to
need,
be
we're gonna
safe
need
for-
that, especially that first few months, we're gonna need people to call us when, if buses are parked there, so we can ticket them, which is a pain, but, I mean, it'd be nice if people paid attention to law without being ticketed, but that's not what we found, right? We had to ticket again and again and again over time, to make it better. And we still have some people that are quite upset with our fire department by parking over there in that, loading zone, but, I mean, that's the reality. That's what we do for our public safety, is we send a fire truck with EMTs and they stay with them, the crew stays together. And that, am I saying that right, aren't I? Yeah, so although there's that concern, we're not getting regular calls about, I'm not getting photos anymore of 3-4 buses parked on Elm. So I think that as everything in this job and in the world of Board of Public Safety, we have made a pretty bad, dangerous area safer.
No question.
So,
I made the motion.
to reinstate them and to line it,
Are we going to add a sign? I do think it would be beneficial.
Well, you have to add a sign.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
It'll-
commercial, whatever the wording is.
Verbiage.
Well,
Because I know you can say that, but I do feel
well,
like.
it's an enforcement thing, so that's where you'd have to specifically state it
Do you
in your
need-
resolution.
do you need, so is that a different kind of parking?
That's a cheap
It
question.
is allowing parking on any particular street and then not allowing bus parking, is that a different code?
we'd have to do some code research, yes.
Okay.
Well, I think it's one and the same, right? Because I mean, it's a ticket regardless. We're not gonna tow a bus, so I mean, it really doesn't change whether you say,
Well, I know, but I'm just saying for this resolution.
I don't think we need signs.
right,
I think you line up,
yeah,
and if they park there, that's a
it's
ticket.
a ticket, right.
Just the same as it.
That's what, that's.
It's so different than if we put that you can't park
Started on
commercially.
signs, there we go, there's our recommendation
Yeah.
from our
Yeah.
public safety chief.
And then the entrance for the R&R Legacy parking lot, does that go right up? Can you pull right in right there on Elm?
Yes, but
Yes.
So
there's,
then the lines would have to be so far, right, for those
yeah, we just
spots?
have to be past that curb cut. The tail end of the first space would have to be at that curb cut.
Well, would it have to be farther, chief? Because it's considered a driveway, right?
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah.
So it need to be, what, how many feet?
From the corner.
So if we say nothing and we say parking on that side of the street, our DPW will know to be compliant and they'll stop. It might not be as many spaces as there once was, or there might be more, but
Yeah.
that'll be up to them to line them up, okay? Parking on the west side of Elm Street, the end, and we're gonna line them so that so we deter commercial bus parking.
Right. And there is no parking 20 feet from the corners.
Right, which
From the
means that they're
corner,
not gonna
right.
park, they're not
They're
gonna
not
line
gonna
out
block your
spots
driveway or
there,
anything.
and would normally put a no parking from here to corner and here to
Yeah.
curb. Fair enough?
Yep. So moved.
Everybody okay? We got a
Yes.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. There you
The
go.
neighborhood thanks you. Appreciate your work.
Sorry to make you wait the
Oh,
whole time.
that's okay.
It'll
Elm
probably take a
Street
little while.
and all the sidewalk and all the improvements are fantastic.
And you're the guy who'll have to call when there's a bus there.
Nah.
Bill knows I've called a fair amount.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he was the one sending me the photos, he and a few others, but, there's gonna be a groundbreaking of phase 2, $24 million
Yep,
worth of, later this month. I think we're looking at the 26th.
I'll be there.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Smith's report. And if you don't mind, Chief, I'm gonna use this. Sure.
You're still waiting?
Bill Bowwood, detective. Detective, there wasn't a detective report.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I feel bad, it's been a
Yeah, he just
stressful.
came back, so there's not gonna be one of us.
Because the bad short
Yeah, much better.
But even just working from
Going
the
through
park
PT.
here, my hip was like pop, pop, pop.
How are the officers
Just
or
popping, clicking thing.
academy doing?
So to be able to feed for like 5 hours running around the restaurant is just
I haven't heard a word from him. That's
feasible.
good.
I've been
That's
on
good.
it,
Those
like
are
I've
good.
been
That's
serious, but it's kind of caused me a lot of pain
Yeah.
that night and the day after.
We have,
So, I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out because I have to work.
Yeah, it started July.
And I do have the 2 jobs,
Yep.
and the one at the distillery is usually a little better, because I can see.
Peter, are we still
I do
on?
a lot of things.
Yes.
That's still going.
Yeah, the owner actually just officially retired, so his son and daughter-in-law took it over, but they're like downsizing, and it's more of a hobby for them now. So,
We have a, excuse me, we have a recording going on.
Careful what you're saying.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Forgive me, but that's what I was trying to say. Okay. I brought my manual uniform traffic control device. I still can't understand it all, but I do bring it with me.
I can't understand it either.
I was looking for caution for the children crossing the back. Maybe we pause while the mayor has stepped away for a moment. Peter, may we please pause for a moment?
Might have his headphones in.
Oh.
He's right here.
Oh, he's coming right back. Okay. We were just gonna pause for a moment.
We were, I'm sorry. So, report read?
No, I
I
didn't.
don't need to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry.
oh, look at that. Go ahead.
So the only thing I have to report is the radar speed trailer that the mayor was speaking about earlier. We have it. We have it out, set up, trying to figure out how to use it. We discovered that we have to get it decaled with some reflective decals, so it's more visible at night because it's all white. So we have to make it safer. We had it out on Dix Ave. Some of you may have seen it.
That's up.
So we had it out there for a few days. We pulled it off so that we can get it decaled first, and then we'll put it back out there.
Have you decided or learned what we might need to pass for laws to be able to?
We're working with, we have to figure out how to do that first. We're working with Store Tech right now, because it's a different program. So once we have that, we'll start looking into the laws as to, what needs to be changed.
Yeah, and I don't know that I don't know that the tickets will be, they're not like a speeding ticket.
Correct.
It's a ticket of speeding, but it's an infraction of maybe driving unsafe or something, or it's
I'll
not.
have to take a look at
It's
it.
non-points, but 90, they have a record of, most of them get paid because when you get a letter from the municipality showing that you were driving quickly and that your car is doing it, you pay it, but it's not the same enforceable. It's not like you're gonna suspend somebody's license, but we'll let Chief learn about that and tell you how to do it. I'm sure there'll be some code change, but I don't think it's a normal code like,
Normal traffic.
yeah, normal traffic infraction. It's a different
I
kind
don't know
of.
the driver, but that's probably why they can't do it.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we gonna set a threshold which is a multiple of the speed limit or something?
We'll have to do that, yes. That'll be a discussion that we'll have to have.
In a range, right? Maybe.
The city of Albany hits them for going twice the speed limit in the school zone.
Well,
So if they do 30 in a 15 zone, that's when
An
they
easy
get the
ticket.
ticket.
Yeah,
They've had people going 80 in school zones.
right.
The state comes down on you very hard on that, and the insurance company as well.
Well, they now offer them like on the thruway, and again, it's not a speeding ticket, it's a ticket
It's an
of a
infraction.
different kind, yeah.
It's correct, it's an infraction.
Great. So, thank you. And then we have executive session,
And we're requesting an executive session to discuss
but that won't be a motion,
notification,
so we can let you go.
just a quick notification to the board.
And motion to approve.
The chief's report,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Chief Smith, or Motor, sorry, wow, shoot.
You get it.
I'm Bill, I'm Jim, you know, if I got that.
Thank you.
5 o'clock, right?
Ask.
Sorry, Deputy Chief, how are you today?
Good. How are
Good.
everyone? So I want to give a few accolades to some of the guys in the department. First, as you know, we started hiring trainees, titled firefighter trainees in the department several years ago. Through the state and due to the need of, or reduced paramedics being hired, there need to be some way to get them in, providing certification so we can employ people because there weren't firefighter medics out there. Same goes for Albany, Saratoga, everybody's was in the same need. So therefore, with civil service in New York State helping with this and creating this position, firefighter trainees were created for the fire departments. 18 plus months ago, Brandon Roback and Connor Timms started their paramedic journey, and they both completed their mission in July, and they are online as paramedics in the department. Also too, critical care is also an ALS status, but that is going to be sunsetted sometime soon. The number is 2028 is they're estimating. We'll see if that happens.
Sunsetted, what's that mean?
Means they're no longer going to recognize critical care as a ALS provider. So that caused some issues, and so some of us went and took the paramedic program as soon as we heard that, and a few others have been going down the line as best they can in their personal situations that allow them. So Paul Sullivan took that, and he also had an 18-month journey, and he completed his journey. He had some personal issues last year and had to fall out of the bracket for just a moment, and once he completed his personal issues, he jumped back in it and was able to complete it with no issues. So good for that. The individuals, 3 of the individuals that you guys okayed to move forward, they were able to complete their background checks and their medical evaluations. So they've been hired, and they started their shift on July 28th. So Aaron Alden, Christian McCarthy, and William Beauclair are now Glens Falls firefighter trainee, and Aaron Alden is actually a firefighter paramedic. They'll be starting their fire academy in Utica, and they'll be heading out on Sunday afternoon to begin their journey, which will end November 26th, and hopefully all 3 of them will pass. And after that, they'll have a 2-week hazmat course at the end to get them to the tech status. As you know, the fire department provides hazmat both for the county and for the city for commercial. Beginning of July, early morning of July 7th, A shift had a structure fire over on it's a duplex on Stevens Street, and they were able to make a good stop. Fortunately, the residence was lost. None of the residents were able to move back into the facility, the house, and it had to be torn down. So unfortunately, they lost a lot of possessions, but they weren't injured, and the A crew made a great stop without causing any other activities to neighboring homes or residences. Just to weigh in on what you guys are seeing, with summertime being here, the traffic is very high, and road closures are many these days because of road construction, building construction, things going on. People taking the shortcuts to get around the city. Also have to be aware that there are people and kids out on bikes, walking, and etc. The call line for individuals getting hit by a car or climbing. So I'd like to give a personal safety notice to have everybody slow down. Just because you're taking a shortcut doesn't mean you can speed up. So just take a moment, breathe. It is the summertime, it is going to be busier, and that helps everybody who lives in the city of Glens Falls. And that's all I have for a report.
Thank you. All right. Motion to accept. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any
And
opposed?
then I like to write his executive
Sure.
as well,
Right.
after he's done.
Oh, yeah, so I think we need better language to go into executive session, even though we're not gonna pass any resolution.
Personnel.
So, and there's a certain language,
Yes,
off
there
the
is.
top of your head, you know?
It's supposed to be more specific than personnel.
Yeah,
It's
it
supposed
is.
to be if it's, you know, promotion,
Performance
resignation,
review, resignation.
something. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what it is, but it's supposed to be a little more in depth.
So it's,
Not the who. but-
Personnel review.
no, a review of conduct that'll affect somebody's potential disciplinary
That works.
action. Fair enough? But we're not gonna pass any resolutions or take any actions tonight, we just wanna make you aware of personnel situation. Fair enough? Great, and so, can I, whoever makes this motion to go into executive session, can I ask you at the same time to make a motion to come out and the second both, so that can be recorded now and we don't have to keep on there anymore. All right?
That will make
So
that
move,
motion.
Tambry moves. Second, great, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. We'll go into the